And hopefully not last video of the new thought-provoking gaming discussion web series, Filled Inventory. A series that looks deeper into games by scrutinizing various issues unbeknownst to gamers. To be formal, we'd like to briefly introduce the team behind Filled Inventory.
Jason Walsh.
And Chris Walsh.
And I'm Tim G. All three encompass a spectrum of gaming regarding tastes, abilities, passions, and feed off each other in creating. What's in store for our world premiere? Why, none other than the not so highly debated topic of gaming achievements. What are achievements, you may ask? Simply, an achievement can be defined as any token, item, reward, feeling of self-accomplishment, etc. that is typically awarded through some form of laborious means. In Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, an achievement was unlocking Star Road or one of the secret ghost houses by finding a secret key or path within a game level in order to unlock the area. Today, an achievement requires the gamer to perform a similar required task as performed in the olden days, but now rewards gamers with a type of digital token in the form of running tally of points if you're on the Xbox 360, or trophies for those PS3 players. These points, or trophies, are linked to a gamer's online profile that distinguishes their so-called abilities within the gaming world. This is the form of achievements that we will be debating within this video, any awarded action that results in some form of numerical notoriety. Well, we just crammed a load full of information that you would know providing you simply play games. The point of this video is simple. Have publicly recognized achievements ruin gaming as we know it. Let's jump right into it and the points for the argument debated by myself, Tim G. Firstly, have games become more choppy and less refined even late in a console's life where games are typically at their peak because of time being spent on achievement development? Xbox 360 was introduced in November of 2005 in the United States, and PS3 a year later in the same month. 7 years later, and glitches are becoming more apparent than ever, at least in the games I take to. While this may be a far-fetched inference, it raises serious questions about gaming development and what effect achievements are having upon it. The Assassin's Creed gaming series is hands down one of my favorite storylines in the gaming world and provided an unbelievable experience in looking at incredible historical inferences and what-ifs in a stunning visual environment. Not only was the game a massive undertaking, but a defining moment of what games were becoming. So what's the problem, you ask? Assassin's Creed, in order to fulfill the gaming standard of adding achievements, turned to adding some of the most mind-numbing and mediocre achievements possible in ridiculous searches for flags, feathers, Templars, and the likes. While the achievements themselves are considerably ridiculous, it is the fact that there are many glitches in many of these titles. Assassin's Creed 3 for the Xbox 360 was highly glitched in what should have been a smooth playing experience. It seems to me that achievements should be the last concern of a developer when the game they publish isn't even polished. Secondly, are gamers still interested in games that do not have a social indicator of the fact they are playing? Whether it be Xbox 360, PS3, or even Facebook, all of these applications provide a social indication to other users online, whether it may be what games they are playing, how many achievements they have procured, or perhaps even sending you pesky messages requesting some form of agricultural help in games like Farmville. Is it feasible to think that gamers are now thinking twice before playing their favorite classic cart-style game because of the fact they will not be publicly recognized for it because of the lack of achievements? There is no formal system in which they can brag to their friends. Let's be honest, who goes to the gym without a Facebook post about it anymore? It can be more easily described in that gamers are apparently becoming more accustomed to a continual online world where every interaction, event, status, etc. are being tracked, monitored, seen, and even capitalized on. Just like Google targets relevant content to its users through clever pattern recognitions, Microsoft, Sony, and if Nintendo ever catches up, are catching on by targeting data to each gamer based on their preferences, and yes, you guessed it, achievements. Gamers can easily lose hours of time getting lost in comparing themselves achievement-wise to their gaming cohorts and who did what. While this may be a way to extend interaction time with each respective console, it appears to merely keep gamers away from the things they originally planned to do: game. Okay, let's just say these points are just the lay of the land and that Tim G really needs to, well, at least hear this last point against them out there. How achieving are achievements? While there are some achievements that are truly incredible in that they require that old school required ability of button pressing perfection, such as I Want to Be the Guy in Super Meat Boy, which I must say is my most proud achievement, or perfection in Trials HD, which I am envious of Chris Walsh for having, there are so many mind-numbing achievements that developers should be ashamed of themselves for providing such poor content. In reality, most achievements follow the latter and are a disgrace. A prime example of this is the title Avatar for Xbox 360, which rewards gamers with 100% completion by merely pounding the attack button continuously on the first level of the game, and sadly takes 15 minutes. Other games provide achievements that go against the entire system they try to promote. Call of Duty World at War provides not just one, but two achievements that provide 0 game points for quite consuming tasks for prestiging the first time and the 10th time. If developers are wasting precious development time in providing achievements, why not provide only worthwhile ones? So we've been bashing the idea of modern day achievements, but there are some out there who feel achievements are actually good for the state of gaming. This is where Chris and Jason Walsh come in.
It's true, there are many achievements that are truly epic. We've already mentioned Super Meat Boy, but there are so many more that provide the ultimate challenge. Hard to the Core in Dead Space 2, which requires gamers to beat the game on hardcore setting with only 2 saves. 2 saves! Sounds easy, right? Seriously though, try it. A throwback to an older game is the achievement World Champion in Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter that requires true skill in the fact that you are required to be on the top of the multiplayer leaderboards to get it. It was allegedly reported that only 19 people had this achievement. Ubisoft even went and reset the leaderboards in order for more people to obtain it. These achievements can become even more impossible when developers no longer support the game, nor provide a server, leaving the ability to obtain the achievement a true impossibility.
Second, gamers need a sense of accomplishment generated from gameplaying, and while beating the game is an accomplishment itself, beating the story alone for most games doesn't really warrant the $60 spent on the game. Hence, the addition of collectibles, achievements, multiplayer, and more, which can help to generate one sense of accomplishment. As games become more and more story-driven, it is harder to go back and continually play the story because one won't get the same sense of mystery or experience as when you play the story for the first time. We've all played Super Mario World countless times over and again for a few reasons. We weren't playing for the story, there barely was one. You saved the princess from the monster and that was it. You played for the gameplay. Games have become a form of art in themselves, and a majority are so story-driven that one plays for the story, and once that is done, it is hard to keep playing without another reward system as seen in achievements. How many times will a gamer truthfully replay the story of Assassin's Creed series? How exciting can a game be when all the twists and turns are already known and unsurprising?
Lastly, and to piggyback from the prior point, games continue to get shorter and shorter. Achievements simply extend the life of the game through challenges in the form of additional storyline quests, riddles, searches, and more. These challenges have always been evident within games such as time trials and racing games. Instead of a simple self-pat on the back, gamers are now awarded with achievements, trophies, and the likes. Batman Arkham Asylum beautifully examples this, with a vast selection of additional content in the form of challenge maps, riddles to solve from the Riddler, and other items to find throughout the world. Halo also reinforces the importance of replay value while providing achievements and providing alternate endings for those daring enough to take on challenging difficulty settings. Some games have provided an invaluable addition to what gamers expect from their developers. Let's be honest, are achievements really ruining gaming and taking away precious development time, or adding multiplayer to story-driven games like Assassin's Creed 3 and Bocce Ball of all things, taking away precious development time, making these games less glitch-ridden?
And with that, we leave the answer up to you. Both sides presented as intelligently and thoughtfully as they could, and seek feedback on what side makes more sense. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on achievements in gaming? Is it worthwhile, pointless, unimportant, or who really cares? We would love to hear your feedback, positive or negative. Although negative feedback will most likely never be read and discarded, so keep that in mind. Most importantly, what should be the next topic for Filled Inventory? Leave your comments below simply stating a topic, conundrum, or thought you may have regarding gaming, and maybe that video will be featured next. Thanks for your time and support, and we look forward to the next installment of Filled Inventory.